We have a Pluto square the sun aspect coming up this Saturday. As you might know, it is Taurus season, so this is a great time to treat your life like a garden. Plant those seeds, water that soil, speak sweet things into the world. Let's go. Let's grow the things that are really important to you. Taurus season is such a juicy time to cultivate towards the goals that we want to see results in. Aries is all about embarking on an instinct and trying things out and self-discovery and not caring about what the outcome is. Maybe by now you have a little bit of insight into what those instincts brought you to desire. Now is this time to plant them in your little garden of life, and it's going to take time for them to grow, right? But be very intentional about what seeds you're putting where. However, this Saturday, we have an aspect that only happens twice in the year, and that's when the sun is going to square Pluto. The next time we're going to have this in Scorpio season, which is 6 months from now, when we have a Sun-Venus conjunction, which I'll get to talking about very soon. So this happens twice a year. This one will be on Saturday, and this definitely can be an astrology aspect that comes up when we are struggling with power dynamics in our life. So Taurus wants stability. And so there's a section of your life right now that really is aiming for that structure, that stability, to build something for the long term, providing value, providing nutrition, nutrients to your life. Taurus likes comfort and predictability, but when it has a square to Pluto, where our comforts are gets tested quite a bit, because Pluto in Aquarius is a power planet. Pluto is a power planet. And Pluto's like, hey, are you powerful in this area of your life? Do you have freedom? Because Pluto in Aquarius also wants to give you freedom in your life, which I think is great for all of us. But the journey to freedom is often very difficult. This tension is not pretty. I think on the grand scale, we could see definitely some issues with our leadership, people in leadership. We do have a square with Mercury and Jupiter the day before. So I think we're going to see some news coming out that kind of more is about telling the truth, that can cause a lot of tension and really necessary action, right? There can be something that's happening in your personal life, but then also in the exterior world where you can't play small anymore, and there is necessary action that has to take place. Now, Sun square Pluto and even Mercury square Jupiter, growth is necessary. It is uncomfortable. It's more will be like there's a tension in the sky that is going to demand some movement. So it might feel like you've lost control, and it's temporary. Just remember that, right? But it might feel like you lost control over a situation or you've lost power. But the truth is you never had the control to begin with. Pluto is going to reveal through this square where you've tried to control something or suppress something because you've had a deep attachment or fear of losing something or an insecurity, or maybe, quite frankly, you just haven't been valuing yourself enough to move forward in a new direction. Well, Pluto is going to bring an exposure to this area, right? So it's going to look like you've lost control, but really it's just exposing where you have these unnecessary attachments that aren't rooted in your underlying truth and your underlying truth and your underlying values. At the end of the day, Pluto is always my hero because it wants to give us transformation, and it actually wants to bring you the utmost power in your life by revealing all of the subconscious stuff that's holding you back from truly reclaiming that and understanding that what you vibrate is actually your power, because that's what's going to be attracted into your life. Okay, so this transit is going to briefly, or maybe for some of you will be a bigger impact, expose to you where you're comfortable, right? Where you need to make a change in order to create some momentum and some movement, right? Because we're never gonna get what we want. We're never going to evolve. Even if you're like, Michaela, I'm sick of evolving. Well, if you want more comfort in your life, then I guarantee you where you're staying at now and the things that you're accepting now are creating a little bit of discomfort, which would require you a little bit more change and movement towards reclaiming your own power in your life, right? So this transit this weekend will give you a little taste of that. On the big scale, I don't think it looks good for President Trump because he's a Leo rising. The moon is going to be in Leo that day, opposing Pluto. Pluto opposing his rising sign, and the sun and Taurus forming that square. So this is a dangerous aspect for him. So we'll see what happens. Let's stay tuned.